In the Mwembani neighborhood, there was a man whom everyone considered to be a very eccentric person. He was known as Mr. Mahoka. He was a middle-aged man, with a beard mixed with gray hair. His clothes were extremely worn out, and his body had an indescribable odor. People considered him a nuisance of the neighborhood, with strange behaviors and no use to the community. Mahoka always walked the streets carrying bags of garbage and incomprehensible objects. Children shouted at him, young people teased him, and adults chased him away when he approached their shops. No one ever took him seriously, nor did anyone ever want to know his history. But one thing was strange. Mahoka did not ask for food or money from anyone. Sometimes he would disappear at night and return at dawn without anyone knowing where he had gone. Some thought he was going to sleep in the garbage, but no one dared to follow him. Despite his eccentric appearance, Mahoka was not an ordinary person. He had immense wealth, unimaginable assets, and valuable land in the city and countryside. He owned large mansions, luxury cars, and even several businesses that were managed in someone else's name. But he had one big problem. He had no heir to his fortune. He had no children, and all his close relatives had died. He was afraid that when he died, all his wealth would fall into the hands of greedy, unworthy people, or even the government. So he decided to experiment. He wanted to find someone with wisdom, a compassionate heart, and true wisdom, someone who could own his wealth fairly and use it for the good of society. The path he chose: to pretend to be a fool and see how people treated him. In that neighborhood, there was a young man named Rashid. He was an orphan, hard-working, and had great respect for everyone, even those who were despised by society. Every day when he saw Mahoka being chased away or scolded, he felt sorry for him. One day Rashid saw Mahoka sitting on the side of the road, looking more tired than usual. Instead of passing him by like the others, he approached him and gave him a bottle of water and a piece of bread. Mahoka looked at him suspiciously, then smiled a little, a smile no one had ever seen before. "Young man, what is your name?" Mahoka asked in a trembling voice. "My name is Rashid, old man." "Why are you giving me food, and you don't know who I am?" "Because I can see that you are hungry. No one deserves to starve if we can help each other." Mahoka looked at Rashid for a long time, then laughed quietly. In his heart, he felt that he might have found the person he had been looking for a long time. In the following days, Mahoka began to secretly follow Rashid. He wanted to know if the young man was sincere or if he was a hypocrite like the other people in the neighborhood. He discovered that Rashid had a hard life. He worked as a laborer in the market to make ends meet, but despite his hardships, he was a man who would help others without hesitation. Mahoka decided to test Rashid in a different way. One morning, when he saw Rashid leaving the market, he pretended to have fallen on the road. People passing by avoided him, some laughing and saying, "That little guy doesn't even have the strength to walk anymore." But Rashid didn't laugh. He went straight to Mahoka, gave him a hand and helped him up. "Old man, are you hurt?" he asked in a compassionate voice. Mahoka pretended to be sick and said weakly, "I'm really hungry, young man." Without hesitation, Rashid gave his last shillings and bought 2 chapatis and tea for Mahoka. Mahoka smiled inwardly but said nothing. He knew that Rashid was different from the others. Rashid's helpful attitude towards Mahoka did not please the locals. Many told him to stop getting involved with that old man. "You're wasting your time, young man. That old man is crazy, he's useless," they told him. But Rashid ignored them. He believed that everyone deserved respect, even those who were despised. One day, while Rashid was sitting by the shop, Mahoka approached him and said, "Young man, what do you think of me?" Rashid thought about it and then said, I see that he is an old man who has been through a lot, but he still has the breath of life. You need help, not contempt." Mahoka smiled and said, "Will you help me?" Without hesitation, Rashid replied, "Yes, I will." Mahoka looked at him with deep meaning in her eyes. His trial was coming to an end. Was Rashid really a trustworthy person? After seeing that Rashid had a compassionate heart, Mahoka decided to give him a bigger test. One day, Mahoka followed Rashid to the market with a sad look on her face. He was dressed in dirtier clothes than usual and pretended to be seriously ill. "Rashid, I need your help," he said in a weak voice. "What's the matter, old man?" Rashid asked worriedly. "I have somewhere I want to go, but I can't go alone. Please, can you accompany me?" Rashid didn't hesitate. He helped Mahoka walk, taking her to a remote path outside the city, where few people went. When they arrived in front of a large building with an iron gate, Mahoka stopped and said, "Wait here." He went forward and knocked. Immediately, the large door opened, and a guard in a black suit came out. "Welcome, sir," the guard said with great respect. Rashid was startled. "Sir?" he asked himself. Mahoka entered the mansion, then turned to Rashid and said, "Come in." Rashid hesitated, but out of respect for Mahoka, he followed her inside. When he arrived inside the mansion, he was amazed. The floor was of pure marble, the walls were decorated with elegant paintings, and the sweet scent of flowers permeated the air. Indeed, there was no sign of the dirt or poverty that Mahoka had assumed. "Welcome to my home," Mahoka said in a gentle voice. Rashid was stunned. "This is your house, old man?" he asked in surprise. "Yes, Rashid. I am not a fool. I am the richest man in this town." Rashid remained open-mouthed, his heart beating fast. Mahoka sat on the golden chair and began to explain. "For many years, I have pretended to be a fool to see who would respect and care for me without knowing my wealth. Many looked down on me, seeing me as street trash. But you, Rashid, saw me as a human being." Rashid could not say a word. Mahoka continued, "I have no children, no close relatives. I need someone wise and kind to inherit my wealth. I have decided that person is you." Rashid was even more shocked. "Me? I can't. I have no education. I have no experience of such wealth." Mahoka laughed softly. "Wisdom is not measured by education alone, Rashid. Wisdom is measured by actions. You are the person I have been looking for a long time." Tears gathered in Rashid's eyes. For many years he had been poor, despised and disappointed, but now someone who was despised even more than him had given him a chance at a new life. "Father Mahoka, I didn't expect this, but I appreciate it." Mahoka smiled. "Don't call me a fool anymore. From today on, you are my spiritual son. You will learn everything about business, wealth, and the wisdom of life. But first, there is one thing we must do." "What?" Rashid asked. Mahoka smiled slyly. "No, don't worry, my boy. You are rich now." And that is the end of this story of old Mahoka. It teaches us not to underestimate those we don't know.